All right, so here I am hiding from my kids. There's the cat. I wanted to make this video with the cat here, since I mentioned him on the last one, calling him a butthole, saying that he's come a long way. You can see he's nice. So anyways, all that aside, I wanted to talk about no contact, going no contact. Here's what I want to do. I want to give all the justifications for it, using the same reasons defense attorneys always tell their clients do not talk to the police. We have a Fifth Amendment right to remain silent when law enforcement is present, and whenever you're suspected of committing a crime, or even at that, you don't have to talk to law enforcement. As a matter of fact, you should not. And so there's a good video that I love. It's about a 45-minute video. I'll spare you the details, but it's a law school professor and a police officer, and both of them are making the case for why you should never speak to the police, and even the police officer says you should not. And so I took some clips from his presentation. I want to show these things to you one at a time. So there's 7 justifications for telling your client to never speak to police, and these are the 7 justifications for going no contact and not speaking to a narcissist for all the same reasons. So here we go. Hey, the narcissist is here. He wants to talk to me. What should I do? Shut your fucking mouth and shut the fuck up. That's what you should do. So the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution of the United States is there to protect innocent men and women who would otherwise be ensnared by ambiguous circumstances. See, truthful responses can still be incriminating, right? And so you have the right to not speak to somebody who is persecuting you, is what it comes down to. So that's where the Miranda warnings come from. You have the right to remain silent. But just because you have that right doesn't mean that you have the ability. See, but you should just remain silent, especially when you are speaking to people who are out to persecute you. This is such a fundamental concept that it is enshrined as the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution. This is by far the biggest justification for going no contact with a narcissist or a toxic person or somebody who is out to get you. Well, and as one would surmise from the content of the original video and from the title of this video and my introduction, what should you do? Don't talk to them. Nothing good ever happens, and we'll get into that. Here's why. There are so many laws on the records that even the Congressional Research Service can count the number of laws. As a result, it doesn't matter what you say. Chances are good, if you talk, you'll get found guilty of some crime or breaking some law. Well, it's the same for the narcissist. They make up the rules as they go. There's an unlimited number of rules and laws and expectations that they just make up as they go, right? So for much of the same reasons as why defense attorneys say, do not speak to the police, do not speak to the narcissist, because it cannot help. Right. So reason number 1, there is no way it can help. You're not going to be able to talk your way out of getting arrested. You're not going to talk your way out of the situation. It does you no good whatsoever. So just don't do it. And if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. What is a narcissist? They are a conflict seeker. They are not a resolution seeker. They're not peace seekers. They are not peacemakers. They are not peacekeepers. Okay? They want nothing to do with peace. They want victory and domination through conflict, through competition, right? That's what they're after. And so any interactions you have with them, any interaction is a potential opportunity to conquer, for conquest, for conflict, for competition. Not peace, not serenity, not quiet surrender or submission. Dominance. So don't talk to them. Legal tip number 2 is interesting, is even if your client is guilty, if he admits guilt, there may not be any benefit in return for them. Well, so what's the reason for this, right? Because if you're guilty and you admit your guilt, you may not be getting a benefit in return, right? So what does this mean? Well, from the legal sense, this means, in a court of law, ideally you're innocent until proven guilty, right? But if you admit your guilt right away, 86% of people that find themselves in criminal cases where they're guilty, 86% of them end up being found guilty or pleading guilty, okay? So what's the rush, right? In other words, if you've done something and you know that they're going to eventually find out, don't rush into it. Look for the better opportunities, right? So this is something that you don't want to just be like, I did it, No, you want to just wait and find the best possible time to deal with things, right? So again, you don't talk to the narcissist. If you've done something and you know that they're going to get pissed off whenever they find out, they're going to get pissed off when you tell them too. So, in other words, choose your timing. Choose your timing wisely. Reason number 3, even if you're innocent and you deny any guilt and you tell mostly the truth, you can still tell some little white lie or make some little mistake in the details that can hang you later. Did you kill Jones? No, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't kill Jones and I don't know who did. Plus, I wasn't anywhere near that place. I don't have a gun and I never owned a gun in my life. I don't even know how to use a gun. Yeah, sure, I never liked the guy, but who did? Ta-da! You just gave the narcissist a free little bit of information that can hang you in a completely unrelated way. I never liked the guy, but who did? So what you're saying is you don't like Jones, nor does anybody you know. Well, I'm sure this is information Jones would like to know. And so then what happens? Well, ta-da, smear campaign, right? A smear campaign just got its genesis because of the campaign, because you took the bait. Not that it matters, Jones is dead, but you get the point. There's a false accusation, and then in all of your rebuttals to the accusation, you end up revealing some other information that they can use to hang you. So again, don't talk to them, even if you're innocent, because you can just give them other ammo. Next, even if you're innocent and you only tell the truth and you don't say anything incriminating, there's still a very good chance that they'll crucify you later if they don't recall what you said with 100% accuracy. See, one of the hallmark characteristics of a narcissist is a natural tendency to gaslight, which we overuse that term tremendously in narcissism, and I've addressed that in other videos. It's out of the scope of this, but suffice it to say that narcissists are known for gaslighting, changing the versions of previous events. This occurs because whenever they experience an emotional injury, when they get their feelings hurt, the collapse is very painful and it's a very thorough collapse. Even the parts of the brain and parts of the psyche that process reality are fair game to be rewired and warped to recover from this injury. They call it having an epiphany or changing an opinion or new shit has come to light, man, and the versions of events suddenly change. So even if you're innocent and you've said nothing but the truth and you've said nothing incriminating, there's still a very, very good chance when dealing with someone like a narcissist that further down the road, their memory of what you said will be warped because at some point they will have gotten their feelings hurt and they will have had to have changed their understanding of the situation completely. And now they're back to crucify you. Next up, even if you're innocent and you only tell the truth and you don't say anything incriminating and it's thoroughly documented and even videotaped, you can still end up being crucified later if they don't recall their questions correctly. So what is this saying? This is saying that even if you record your conversations and you record the events, it may ultimately end up being irrelevant because if they don't have any recollection of their side of things, then that means you'll have your recorded version, and they'll be sitting there, and they'll have no recollection of what their actual behavior was. And so then guess what? They sit there and they just start making it up on the spot and filling in the gaps of your documentation. So it doesn't, like, that's one of the frustrating things. You can document, and they'll act as if it never happened, and they just sit there and they just fill in the gaps. It's amazing. And so then what? You say, I don't know who killed Jones. It wasn't me. I've never touched or fired a gun in my life. Well, then in court, they asked the police officer, did anything strike you as funny, odd, or suspicious about that statement? And the police officer says, yeah, I didn't even mention shooting. We never said that Jones was shot and killed. We never mentioned it to him. He said he wasn't there, said he didn't know anything about Jones being killed. But somehow he knew the manner in which Jones was killed was shooting. How could he have known if we never told him and if he was never there? See, even though they told you that Jones had been shot and killed, if they don't remember saying that he was shot and killed, if they don't remember that detail, but all they have is your recorded statements, if they forget, then it's your word against theirs. And in a court of law, it's your word against a police officer. And if you're the defendant and there's a police officer, chances are the jury's already looking at you through squinted eyes. They're going to go with the police officer, not you. So now, even if you're innocent, and even if you only tell the truth, and if you don't say anything incriminating, and you've documented, and it's videotaped, the interest can still be used to crucify you if they have any evidence that's flawed or mistaken or unreliable. The example is, I don't know who robbed that store. It wasn't me. I wasn't even in Virginia Beach that night. I was 4 hours away visiting my mom on the Outer Banks. Unfortunately, I stopped to get gas, but I paid with cash. I didn't have a credit card, so there's no way to really go out and prove that I was in the Outer Banks. But then the problem comes with whoever's persecuting you. Let's say they have a witness. My girlfriend Karen says she saw you out at the club. Well, no, I already told you I was visiting my mom. You can ask my mom. Well, what good is your mom's word? It's not worth jack shit, right? So now it's your word against Karen. Karen swears she saw you out at the club with a girl. No, I was visiting my mom. Oh, yeah? Well, where'd you buy gas? I paid cash. Of course you did, right? So even if you're innocent and everything's documented, right, they can still come in and they can introduce a faulty witness and hit you that way. So see, the American founding fathers were very wise and very smart to put this Fifth Amendment clause in there because they recognize the importance of shutting the hell up whenever somebody's trying to persecute you. As long as you remain quiet, then you won't voluntarily hang yourself. It's there for a reason. It's there for a very, very good reason. And so for all the same reasons why we have the right to remain silent when facing the police officer, you should remain silent when a narcissist is trying to hit you up and hoover you and get you to talk and get you to participate in something. It does not go well for you. Like I said in the beginning, they are a conflict seeker. That's what they want. They want the fight. They are not peacemakers. They are not peacekeepers. They are not peace seekers. They are conflict seekers. They want to fight. They want to conquer. That is what they do. When you open your mouth, you are participating in the fight. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, or share. Join the group on Facebook. It's Narcissistectomy, same spelling as the channel. I look forward to meeting you guys there. And as always, have a good night. Blah, blah, blah. This is a stupid way to end the video. And my wife is home. Hi, sweetie.